Hello again, I hope you're all doing well. I originally planned to do 3 separate videos for this topic. Then my schedule went full dumpster fire till about the beginning of August, so I can only do 2. And yes, I did prevail in the Gore decision. This is just a hobby, guys. I actually do appeals for a living. It is technically a 60310 reversal. It's in the magazine, but I'm not going to be covering it in the video. Besides, we already have that one appellate lawyer. I'm not going to say her name, but we all know who I'm talking about, whose appeal got picked up for a Hollywood adaptation. I'm just not competing against that.
Okay. Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
Anyways, the link to the magazine is down below. It's got over 30 opinions on 60310 decisions, cases where parental rights were restricted in some way. Also includes the forbidden case law, the pre-2021 Rule 23s. Like the 2 prior editions, clickable pilcrows for every summary so you can trust but verify.
Wait! Colleagues, your entire practice depends on you downloading this free guide. All the case summaries on restrictions is on there. No! Avert your eyes, pay no attention to that website. Just download the guide. It's cheap as free.
And colleagues, please do me a huge solid here by sharing any feedback you have so I can make future editions gooder. Or, if we're using proper appellate grammar, more better. Part 1 focused on just this one case because it needed to be segregated and have kind of its own video. Yes, absolutely. It was a colossal failure by the family court system. Dad, let's just cut to it, he got screwed. Simple as that. But for every one of those, there's about 1,000 of everything else. And this movie that you're seeing is Daddy Longlegs. It's shot on a beautifully nostalgic 16mm on a shoestring budget. It's a must-see for anyone that works in family law. It's based on the writer's experiences growing up with a separated dad who was, well, he was kind of his own worst enemy. The full version is online to YouTube. You can watch that for free. So much of what I saw when I did trial work back in the day, I see in this film, and you won't feel sympathy for Dad's choices, but you will feel empathy for a man who was in denial about the demons he was wrestling with. Now, admittedly, most of the summaries won't earn your empathy. Like the Garn decision, where mom was believed to have, well, molested her own child. Or you have Barsky, where dad was not only beating his kids in private, he was doing it in public as well. And then here's the worst part, he was claiming it was never his fault, especially when it was. This was a terrifying decision that forced the judge into entering the harshest of all restrictions. It was a de facto termination. But I want to stress, not every case goes hard like that. Now, some 60310s, they're like that snowball that's rolling downhill, a culmination of a lot of bad choices by parents, just like the one in the movie. Choices like acting the fool in court. And yes, that's actually a factor. Writing out in big bold letters the child support checks in front of the kids. Efforts at alienating the other parent, thumbing your nose at court orders, or running an OnlyFans, and these are all featured in that magazine. And if your client catches a 60310, the court has almost carte blanche when it comes to remedies. A fantastic example is the Garnhart decision, where the appellate court affirmed a judge's order for mom to undergo like this full battery of tests, like mental health and substance abuse, despite the dearth of facts that indicates she was even using anything, because no one could figure out what was causing all this erratic behavior. The magazine also examines how to recover from a 60310, and let me paraphrase. Actually, I'm just going to steal something I heard from the Queen of the North. That's Judge Regina Scaniccio. She's the chief judge of the Domestic Relations Division in Cook County. And so about 7 years ago, I was waiting for my case to get called, and there's this lawyer arguing his motion, and he just wouldn't shut up about what a terrible person Dad was years and years ago. And the judge is like, well, hold on, counselor. I don't care about people who comply with my orders now. I care about the ones who aren't. Move on. And we see that play out in Stazak, where Dad's got a substance abuse issue. He gets a 60310, but then kind of goes to rehab. He's seeing a counselor. He kind of gets right with himself. And mom says, he still needs to be punished. But the judge and the appellate court are like, you know what, you're kind of missing the point of 60310. He's complying. And Dad, well, he gets his unsupervised visits back.
Wait! You're telling me if you follow court orders and engage in personal growth that the judge will get off your back? Quick! Someone call Jeffrey Leving. I have an idea that will make us rich. Rich, I tell you.
And finally, there's actually a couple cases, including the forbidden Rule 23 decision, where a 60310 was reversed because the judge's reasons really fell short of what the statute required. And although you can't cite to that Rule 23, the case law used in that decision is fair game.
Genius!
So I hope you find this newest edition useful to your practice. And again, please do me this solid here if you can. Let me know what you thought, including the good and the bad. Anyways, I got to wrap up and get back to the paperwork next month-ish, covering custody modifications. If you want a heads up when the magazine and the video drop...
Alert! We just had a case come down, practically telling a judge to remove a GAL for donking a custody investigation. Hit the subscribe button. Your professional existence could depend on it.
Anyways, that's all I have. Thanks for watching.
Love yourself and I'll sing